The following program is presented by Tracy Alston of New Mentality PC and Mental Edge Fitness Solutions.
Welcome to Mental Fitness Matters, a show designed to provide people with tips, strategies, and solutions to improve their mental fitness. Now, here's your host, Tracy Alston.
Hey, everybody. I hope you guys are out there having an amazing week. Time continues to fly by, month by month, week by week, moment by moment. I'm excited about today's show. I'm really excited about today's show because I'm going to give my community a few ways on how to begin to free ourselves up. I don't know if you've ever noticed how often we may say we don't have time for this, we're exhausted, we're mentally drained, we're tapped, we're stretched too thin. We're going to talk through today how we can really begin to free ourselves by saying one of the most powerful words on the planet. It's one of the smallest words, but one of the most powerful words that can free you in a way like you never knew before. And that word is no. We're going to talk about how to free ourselves by saying no. But before we start that, let me just ask you guys a question. Have you ever said yes to do something and immediately thought, why in the world did I just commit to that? Why did I just put something else on my plate, on my calendar? I said yes. And as soon as I left there, I'm like, why in the world? And how am I going to get this done? And with what time? We've all been there, right? We've all been there. And then all of a sudden we are sweating the night before. We're overbooked. Our calendar's full. We're moody. We're upset. We're frustrated, and we don't understand why. A lot of times we're overcommitting ourselves in a way that when we just start to say no, it gives us a freedom. It gives us a power. It gives us some clarity that we all truly need. And so today I want you guys to really begin to listen to this topic, maybe go back and listen again. If you're watching this via Facebook Live or on my YouTube channel, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you're kind of commenting in the chats. I'm going to talk about some things that we should begin to say no to. And if there's anything that you can think of additional, just put that in the comments in the chats. We're going to start to create some space for ourselves so that we can have more energy. We can be happier. We can be more clear. We can listen and hear more from our intuitive state and not feel so bogged down and drained all the time. And so saying no can provide you a luxury of freedom that you didn't know you needed until you experienced it. And then once you start saying no more often, you're not going to stop. Okay. So we're going to talk this thing through. It's something that we all go through and that we're all having to constantly work towards. So it's not a place that you get to and you're done forevermore. It's a place that's continuously evolving, hopefully, as we are continuing to evolve and grow and recognizing what we need and versus what we don't. All right. So it's time to start reclaiming our energy back. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Saying no, as I mentioned, is one of the most powerful things we can do. One of the places I want to start, one of my favorite places to start is saying no to perfection. Saying no to perfection. My dad says this all the time, progress, not perfection. I love that because it helps keep me focused. But Winston Churchill said, it's progress. He says progress. I'm sorry, let me say that again. Winston Churchill says perfection is the enemy of progress. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Think about that, guys. How many times we are all so guilty of this. I have so many things that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to start that today, tomorrow, next week. You got so many things to put out, to do, to get accomplished. And it's like, oh, you wait, it's not quite ready yet, right? It's never quite ready yet. Those things are slowing us down. We are so focused on trying to get the perfect picture, perfect post, perfect product, perfect selfie, perfect whatever it is, perfect invention, perfect whatever it is. We are so busy trying to make it perfect that we don't do. We got to start just saying, you know what? A good way to get out of this perfectionist mindset that we all find ourselves into from time to time is to really begin to come up with maybe some tighter deadlines for ourselves. If there's something that you've really been working towards, needing to get out, needing to put out, giving yourself a time frame, whether that's 30 minutes, whether that's one full day, whether that's 1 week, that you want to be touching it and putting it out on a consistent enough basis where you're getting some things done. It's forward movement. If not, we will stay stuck in trying to be perfect, which drains our energy, stresses us out even more, and then we're still stagnant. Nothing's changing. So we have to say no to perfection. We got to just start doing, all right? Little steps at a time. Those little consistent reps at a time moves you further ahead, all right? So remember that. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Progress, not perfection. Thanks, Pops. Number 2, another thing we got to begin to say no to. If you are signing yourselves up for events, parties, things, or activities that you really don't want to go to, but you're just agreeing to go because you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, we have to stop doing that. How many times have we been invited to places, to spaces, going to these networking events, going to this ball game, going to this church event, going here and there, and you really don't want to go, and it's stressing you out more thinking about what you're going to wear, who you're going to talk to, who's coming with you, on and on and on. Finding the time. If you're having to go through that thought process, if you're worried and stressed out and coming up with 100 reasons why you don't want to be there, we got to say no to that, because that again is an energy drain. I want us, and I've said this before, if you're listening to the show and if you've listened often, you know I'm saying pay attention to how things make you feel. How you feel is a big indicator on where you are. And so if you are signing yourself up, loading your schedule down just to please other people in terms of going to these events and parties and networking, all these things, you can say no to that. And it's not about being rude or being mean. It's just about saying, you know what? Not today. You really don't have to even explain your reason of why you're not going. I'm just not going. Maybe I want to just sit home and do nothing. That's okay too. You don't have to give the reason why you're not going. But if you really just feel like it's more of a burden to go, just say no. Another thing to say no to. I want you guys to begin, and we all have to do this in certain areas of our life. We got to begin to say no to those people or that person who doesn't need a third, fourth, or fifth chance. Let that sit there for a moment. We got to say no to those people or those persons that don't need a third or fourth or fifth chance. You've given them chance after chance after chance, and they've shown you consistently who they were. It's time to believe them. And this could be a friend, this could be a partner, this could be a parent, this can be somebody that you work with, this could be somebody really close to you in an inner circle that continues to show you who they truly are. And it's really difficult to say no or to not give opportunities and chances to people who are literally maybe part of your immediate family or immediate circle or in your workspace. But it's time for us to say no. And it's okay to say no, especially if you don't feel like you're in a loving relationship with that person. If they're not respecting you or your values, it's okay for you to say, yeah, no more. I don't have to continue to allow your stuff to be my stuff. And I don't have to feel guilty or pressured into allowing you in my space because you're connected or tied to me in a certain way. It's not okay. So it's okay to begin to set boundaries with people that are closest to you. And that's a lot of times where you might have to set the most boundaries, because those are going to be the people that you're probably giving chance after chance after chance. And they continue to show you. So being okay with saying no to those people who you're having to kind of continue to say, okay, I'll let you back in again. I'll let you do this again. I'll let you hear again. And so if you are continuously upset and disappointed by that relationship, it's time to look at self. It's time to look at self and ask yourself, why am I allowing this person or this thing to continuously show up in my life in this way? That's not okay. Because if you're expecting them to do something different, the truth is people can only give what they have. They can't give what they don't. And so maybe they have been hurt. Maybe they're still going through their own challenges, their own growth, their own journey, and they can't provide you with what you need. If you're growing and changing and evolving and looking for love and freedom and respect, and they're not able to provide that, it's okay to say, you know what? No, it's not okay. I'm protecting my space, protecting my heart, protecting my time. Well wishes on your journey, but I can't allow you to bring that stuff in my space any longer. community, we have to get very clear and intentional about protecting ourselves, protecting our mental space, emotional space, and spiritual space. That's the only way that we continue to progress and move forward. Okay, so saying no to those people and those persons that are looking for that third, fourth, and fifth chance in your space. Another one, it's the big one. This one comes up a lot for me, especially with some of my coaching and my counseling clients that I see. Spending time with people who expect you to be their therapist when they're not paying you, when they're not, and that's not your role. Spending time with people who just expect you to be their therapist. They're energy suckers. You know, you feel more tired, more defeated and depleted than when you got with them in the first place. So if people are just showing up in your space, they're only coming around, they're only calling your phone when they need to dump on you or share something with you and never really checking in to ask how you're doing, and you've gotten off the phone or if you've gotten out of that interaction and you're like, whew, I need a nap. That's a problem. That's a problem. You know, and so then if that stuff becomes your stuff and then you're stuck in that energy, in that space and in that cloud, and that doesn't even belong to you. Now you're worried about what they're worried about, and then your day is ruined. Start to pay attention. How are people showing up in your space? And again, this doesn't mean you have to be mean. Doesn't mean you have to kind of cut people off, but sometimes it might mean you have to cut people off, right? You might have to say, yeah, not today. That phone rings and it's like, oh my God, I don't have it. I don't have 3 hours. I don't have an hour. I don't have 30 minutes. It's okay to put the phone down and say, I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. I didn't see it. You don't even have to explain it. Just don't answer the phone. Don't answer the FaceTime. Don't hop on a Zoom. Don't go out to dinner. Just say, I'll catch you next week or next month or never. Okay? It's okay to say no to people who are showing up only expecting you to give something to them. And if you leave that space and you don't feel like you've received anything, you got to reevaluate what you're doing there. All right. Another one that you got to begin to say no to, and you guys have heard me say this one before, but I have to always bring this one up because I think it's big. I think what we're watching on TV or our social media accounts and the people that we're following and the things that we're listening to, I'm always conscious and aware about if the things that you're looking at or paying attention to are making you feel a way. Gauge what that is. It doesn't mean you have to unfollow somebody or never watch that TV show again, but it may mean that you need to set some boundaries and kind of hide that social media account or only watch those TV shows during a certain part of your day, because energy is real, guys. And if you're following a social media account that once you're looking or scrolling through those pages, you're feeling worse about yourself or you're not really kind of feeling valuable, you want to assess what that's about. And maybe you need to push pause on following that for a little while until that inner work is to a place where it doesn't really matter what you're looking at or who you're looking at. You know kind of who you are. But there are some things on the social media that can really start to make people feel like we're not good enough. We're not doing enough. I'll never make it. Is my idea going to be worth it? Well, they're already doing this, so now I can't do. So we gotta really pay attention that if we get into a rabbit hole in a mental space from looking at something on social media or from watching something on TV and it's not serving us, it's okay to say no to that and turn it off. It's okay to set boundaries around how much time you spend there and say, you know, I can't do this all day. I can't scroll through TikTok for 20 hours and then expect to have energy to do what I need to do. Okay. So if it's slowing you down, it's okay to say no. All right. I also want us to begin to say no to second guessing ourselves. How many times do we do that? How many times do we do that? We're constantly trying to make sense out of things that don't make sense. We've all heard it. We've all been around it. We've all kind of had this gut feeling where, you know what, that don't really sound right. Something's off. And then we kind of talk ourselves. Maybe we give people the benefit of the doubt. We do that all the time because the human piece of us, oftentimes, especially depending on what's going on, that human piece of us can't believe that somebody may do this or say that because that's just not a part of who we are and what we would do. But we got to stop second guessing ourselves so much. Begin to really go a little bit deeper and trust your intuition a little bit more. If you have that gut feeling the first time, the second time, the third time, it's okay to say, you know, I think I'm right on this. I don't care what everybody else is saying, what everybody else is doing. I think I'm right on this. I'm going to sit this one out. And it's okay to do that. Trust yourself a little bit more. Stop second guessing ourselves, really wasting time and energy in confusion because we're seeking clarity. Remember, this saying no is going to give us some freedom. So if we are trying to make sense out of nonsense, that's confusion. That's a draining, dark cloud. There's no sense being made from there. You are looking for and seeking clarity. So it's okay to say no to things that just don't make sense. All right, another one, guys. We're going to need to start saying no to groups, friends, and activities that are not good for us, or that may kind of have a hindrance on some of the goals towards our health and well-being. Every now and then we want to kind of have a good time, but if you have a group that you're partying with and they want to party every single day of the week, and it's like, I gotta go to work, right? You might have to say, I can't get up with you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and expect to get my job done. Right. So there might be social groups or friend groups or hangout groups, wind down Wednesday, taco Tuesday, mojito Monday. I don't know. There may be things that we're involved in or doing that it's like, this is great. It's fun every now and then. But wait a minute. Now my blood pressure's high. Now I'm at risk for type 2 diabetes. Now I'm gaining a little bit of weight. Now I am entering into a place and space where I'm drinking more and less active. So when you're involved in groups like that, it's not saying I can't be friends with you, but maybe as that friend, you could say, you know what, instead of this Saturday, we spending all day doing this, let's go for a hike. Let's go out for a little bit. Let's go for a hike. Let's get out, get some fresh air. You be the one to begin to suggest a different activity during that time and that space and see if you guys can kind of hold each other accountable and say, yeah, we can do this every now and then. But making this a daily event or a couple times a week, if it doesn't feel good to your spirit and you're not feeling good afterwards, start to figure out new ways that you guys can spend time together. And if that's not a possibility, you just may have to say no, that I can't join you on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but I'll see you on Saturday. All right. It's okay to say no to that. This one is a big one. People pleasing, where we tend to kind of have a spirit in us at times where if we're people pleasing, we got to begin to say no to that. If you're someone that's volunteering for every committee that comes up, you're wanting to coach every little team your kids are on, you want to be in every church group and every PTA meeting, you're just saying yes and committing yourself in all these places because you want to volunteer and be there and not let anybody down. It's time to say no to that. Because if you are finding yourself constantly involved in so many things that you really kind of hate being a part of, because number one, it takes up so much of your time and you're just there, that's not a good reason to say yes. Okay, that's not really a good reason to say yes because you're only there to make somebody else happy. Trust me, if you're not there to lead that group, somebody else will come into that place. I promise you. Somebody else will lead the group. Somebody else will coach the team. Somebody else will do ... So if you're one that's constantly volunteering because you don't want to let other people down, you want to people please, you want to make people proud, you just want to say yes, you want to be dependable, do that in a space that's doing it something for you. Don't do that just because you feel like you're obligated to and nobody else will. Put your hand down. You are involved in enough. Give yourself time to say no. All right? No. Another big one, I want to give this one to to people out there who are in a service-based business. Whether you're entrepreneurs, whatever your work is, if you're in a service-based business, it's time to say no to bad clients. It's time to say no to clients that are just sucking and draining your energy. Okay, if you're a stylist, a therapist, doctors, chefs, personal trainers, people who just monopolize all your time and your energy, they don't really respect kind of what you're doing. They just want to show up again and have a place to kind of dump and take or expect something for free. No, No. I can't do that. If we're trying to manifest in our lives, if we're looking for freedom and abundance, if we want a better career, we want to attract clientele that we really want to and enjoy working with, we have to move out the other. Because if our caseload is full of people that are sucking us dry, that's going to be a reflection of my lifestyle. Because I can't see and pour into you if I'm getting wiped and drained the entire time, then I have nothing to give for the people that I serve outside of you, including myself. And that's a problem. Okay. So we can say no to clients that drain our energy. You don't have to take everybody on just because you have a spot in your calendar. Just because you have space doesn't mean they need to fill it. So you can say no to those people and to those clients that are sucking you dry. And how you do that, especially if you're in a service-based, you know what, you might have to say, my calendar's full this week, or I don't have really time until maybe 3 weeks out, or maybe I can't even, I'm full. Maybe it's that. I just don't, I don't see it. So maybe a month or two, we'll give you a call. Okay. So really just giving yourself place and space to say, no, I'm not going to take this on because it's not feeding and serving the direction that I'm trying to go in. So it's okay to say no to that. And I want our parents out there. This is another one. We want our parents out there. I'm going to start with parents with adult kids. Saying no to your adult kids that are making you feel guilty for something you did or didn't do for them as a child. Constantly holding some things over your head. I said this before. If there's some things that as a parent you're constantly apologizing for, trying to make right, and your adult kids are still in the space of making excuses for where they are because of what you did to them, we can say no, that you no longer have to continue to apologize over and over. If we're adults now, it's your responsibility to say, okay, this happened. I wished it would have been different, but this is with the hand that I've been dealt. Parents did the best they knew how when they knew how. So I have to move on and make a decision that's going to benefit me. So it's okay for parents to say no to allowing their adult kids to make them feel guilty over and over again. And for our parents with smaller kids, it's okay to say no and say no one time to your younger kids. Because kids will find a way to keep asking why. It's great, cool. But if you're saying no, and you mean no, say no once. It's okay to just say no. And they may say, hey, can I go and do this? And you can remind them, my answer was what before? No, maybe next time. It's okay to free ourselves in a space where we're not bogged down with guilt. That's a heavy energy. Not doing enough, not feeling like you're enough, only doing and overcompensating because of your own value and self-worth and insecurities doesn't make it okay to continue to overextend yourself. And that's what tends to happen. We overextending ourselves because of things and places that we may be lacking on the inside. There's no external thing that you can do that's going to fill that void. Okay. So it's okay as parents to begin to just say no. This is a big one. So if you have family members, friends, people coming over to your home, if you're one that's always kind of hosting something or always doing the family gatherings, and it's like this always kind of turns out in a way that's not so great, and you kind of knew before they showed up that you weren't going to be happy when they left. If you're constantly in a place just saying yes to people showing up at your home and wanting to spend the night and eat all of your food, it's okay to just say, you know what? Can you guys get a hotel this time around? I'll still do the prep work, the serving, the entertaining, but maybe you don't want them in your space overnight. That's okay too. Guys, we are changing and evolving every single day. So your needs may look a little different. Okay. It's okay to say no. One last thing, say no to distractions. This is the hard one because we're always distracted. There's always a pretty bubble, a squirrel running by, a phone ringing, somebody calling. There's always something else to do. But distractions keep us from being focused and committing ourselves to our dreams. Okay. So we have to commit ourselves to working on a time for being productive. All right. So distractions can keep us from being productive. So when you're at work, be at work. Don't bring your social life to work. And if you're at home, be at home. Don't bring your work life to home. give yourself permission to kind of set boundaries around your time and your mental space. 1 or 2 hours where you knock some work out, get it done. Okay. I hope this was helpful, guys. I want you to write in the chat or shoot me an email at perform@tracyalston.com with some more suggestions on ways we can kind of say no and protect our energies. Also, if there's some conversations or topics you want me to cover, also email me at perform@tracyalston.com. Let me know what topic you want to hear about. I would love to cover that. All right. I want my community to be free. Practice one of these things on this list this week. Make sure you're saying no in areas of your life. I cannot wait to see you guys next week. Share this with somebody else. Shine bright like the stars that we are. Have a great week. See y'all soon.
That's it for today's episode of Mental Fitness Matters. Get more tips, tools, strategies, and solutions that will help you reach your peak mental fitness by joining Tracy every Thursday from 8:30 to 9 a.m. and 6:30 to 7 p.m. for Mental Fitness Matters on News Talk WSIC.